One of the big things that is repeated often in the Bible is that we are to obey the laws of the land. Unless they are totally immoral, like abortion laws, you could argue against those. But there is nothing immoral, nothing inhuman about any country protecting its own borders or about any country enforcing its own immigration laws. There's nothing immoral about that whatsoever. In fact, Mexico, I hate to remind them, but Mexico has very well enforced immigration laws and border security on their southern border. And why they think it's not okay for us to enforce our immigration laws is just beyond anyone's logic. I do want to get to this article about the Justice Department. The Justice Department said Wednesday that a judge ruled correctly in blocking the most controversial parts of Arizona's immigration law. Department spokeswoman Hannah August said in a statement, states can and do play a role in cooperating with the federal government in its enforcement of immigration laws, but they must do so within our constitutional framework. Again, she's talking about this is not your job, it's our job. She added that while we understand the frustration of Arizonans with the broken immigration system, a patchwork of state and local policies would seriously disrupt federal immigration enforcement and would ultimately be counterproductive. You can't interrupt federal immigration enforcement when it does not exist. That's like having a baseball field and nobody's playing baseball. And then some kids go out there with the football and they're throwing the football back and forth. And the caretaker of the park comes out and says, you kids can't play football. You're going to interrupt the baseball game that's being played. And the kids look at the guy cross-eyed and go, what are you talking about? Nobody's playing baseball. We're just throwing the football back and forth. Well, here we are today with the people of Arizona being told that you cannot have this law because you would interrupt federal immigration enforcement. Never mind the fact that we're not enforcing anything. No, you can't enforce it because that's our job. Stay out of our way. We're busy not enforcing anything. The Justice Department says it will continue to work towards smarter and more effective enforcement. How about any? Forget smarter, forget more effective. How about any enforcement? While pressing for a comprehensive approach that provides true security and strengthens accountability and responsibility in the immigration system at the national level. Again, there is nothing wrong with federal immigration policy. There's nothing wrong with federal immigration law. They don't want to fix a broken system. They want to replace it with wide open amnesty and no protection of the border. And then this last story. I think this is the last story that I have today on illegal immigration. Anti-illegal immigration group calls for safe passage of illegals out of the U.S. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. An anti-illegal immigration group is calling on Obama and the Obama administration to ensure a smooth exit for illegal immigrants who are trying to leave the U.S. due to the weak economy and Arizona's strict new immigration law. Americans for Legal Immigration PAC, that's ALIPAC, ALIPAC, is urging all U.S. citizens to pressure the White House and the Homeland Security Department to establish safe departure border checkpoints along the U.S. border for illegal immigrants so that they can leave without fear of being detained or prosecuted for immigration crimes. This is William Geen, president of the group. He says, the peaceful and gradual exodus of illegals from Arizona shows that there is no need for comprehensive immigration reform or amnesty. Comprehensive immigration enforcement works and has the desired effect without mass deportations. The bottom line is, when you enforce the law, people obey the law. If you had no enforcement of speeding laws, people would just drive 80, 90, 100 miles an hour on the open highway. If people knew, if the California Highway Patrol shut its doors and said, we will no longer be out there patrolling the highways, do what you want. Well, people would not obey the traffic laws. they wouldn't hesitate to travel much faster than the speed limit. That's what's happening with immigration law. If it's not enforced, nobody obeys the law. If it is enforced, guess what? People start heading home.